Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 212 on 12/9/2020. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey everybody.
And Michael Aston.
Howdy y'all.
Otherwise known as M&M.
The candies or the
You're
wrapper?
a rap duo, right?
M&M.
Oh,
M and
okay.
M.
And
you do M&M covers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the time.
No.
That's what we do.
While eating M&Ms, you throw out M&Ms at the crowd?
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes we throw out M&Ms. Sometimes we just eat them. It's
Okay.
just we don't ever mix them though because we don't want to confuse people.
Yeah. Mixed M&Ms. Okay. I'm confused.
I'm glad that we got that settled.
I can't rap. So, hey, how you doing, Clyde?
I can rap. My presents are complimented every year.
I can rap that way as well, but but just to say, other people are better rappers than me, even in that case. So, I do okay.
I can do neither well, and I accept my limitations.
See, that's why they invented gift bags.
That's true. Well,
This is exactly right.
gift bags are extremely useful for those gifts that are impossible to wrap correctly.
Or
They are in
which
a weird-
literally
for-
any gift.
I was going to say for Mike, that's every gift.
Literally every gift.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
if it's square, it's not too bad.
Mhm.
Okay. No, but other people they do it much faster.
I
and
worked
neater
at Barnes
like-
and Noble several holidays, and at Barnes and Noble they do complimentary gift wrapping,
Mhm.
or sometimes they'll do like a paid gift wrap that it goes to like a high school or something like that. After the second time, they just stopped asking me to work at the table.
See, but that in itself is a skill. That's a skill I learned in the Navy.
Yeah.
If people think you're bad at something, they will never ask you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just bad at everything, you never get picked to go do the things that need to get done.
I mean,
learning the wrong
this is
lessons.
exactly true. I was very happy that they no longer asked me, but I didn't wrap them poorly because I felt like that would be bad because these were people's gifts to give to people. And so I would never do that. But I was really happy when they stopped asking me to do it.
Yep.
'Cause-
See, and that was the thing. That's where I got my rapping skills was in high school. You could get a job through school for one of your classes, and I worked at like a 5 and dime kind of store, and they did rapping. And the lady that I worked for was very adamant that this is the way it must be done. So I learned to do it that way, and it's those skills you go, when am I ever going to use this? Well,
Once a year.
apparently a lot, especially when you have kids. Yeah, but you know what else we do a lot? We talk about stuff. So we
kind of do that. Sometimes it takes us a while to get there, but we do talk about stuff.
eventually. It
This
doesn't matter
week-
how you get there, as long as you get there, right?
This week we're going to start with YouTube. YouTube is starting a new concept of comments out there. They're going to be making a new feature which will automatically, using some smarts that YouTube has figured out, determine whether or not your comment may or may not be hateful. What they're trying to do is we're using their AI to see what kind of a comment you are putting onto the stream, and it will automatically prompt you with a, hey, we're not sure whether or not what you're saying is appropriate. If you would like, you may continue. You can post anyways, but you should know this is our community guidelines. It's going to also in the future use information like that you put into the system of like your age, your sex, your race, in order to see if it can determine the kind of information that might be inappropriate for a YouTube content.
They have a word for that.
I'm just curious, guys. Are you saying that you're perfectly fine with YouTube comments?
So here's the thing. First of all, while I, as a general rule, encourage people to be civil and polite and nice in all the things that they do, we're not going to get any more comments now, ever again.
No? Why not?
I was gonna say we don't have negative comments because we don't have comments at all.
But
the video I posted,
somebody will give us a negative comment.
The video I posted yesterday has 2 negative comments, and it set a record. It's the most negative comments we've ever had.
We would never have any comments if we didn't have negative comments. That said, because we believe in ourselves and think we're a great show, I'm okay with the idea of encouraging people to be polite and considerate. And it's probably good to throw out a little tone type thing, though I think sometimes those mean comments are meant in jest and are quite funny, and that's probably the funnest part of reading comments on YouTube.
The problem isn't that they're reminding people. I mean, that's just silly and whatever. Do it. The problem is the fact that they're taking age, race, gender into the equation. There's a word for that. It's called profiling.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying, by doing that, you're saying, well, if this comment is hateful if it comes from you, but if this other guy says it, it's perfectly okay to put this hateful thing.
You're misunderstanding what they're doing. They're getting the age, race, sex of the person who posted the video.
Okay, but
and so so they can then determine whether or not what the comment is being used is being sent at the person who put up the video.
That's profiling.
It is. You're right. It's totally
that's
profiling
the same as getting the age, sex, and race of the person that put the suitcase on the conveyor at the airport and making determinations of if what was. Never mind.
I would argue that there are major differences, but I don't feel like we want to argue that here. That being said, I think that this is a bad idea. I think it's a good idea to try and find out very quickly that this doesn't work because it's not. But no, the current system, I like the current system. I actually like current YouTube comments. At least most of the videos I go see, I'm not looking for something that maybe generates a ton of hate. But generally, they are voted up and down, and or if some people are if it seems like popular stuff, that tends to show up at the top, and that seems fine. It's not that bad. The toxicity is mostly gone from my view.
And leave it up to the channel, because there's already a setting in there to hold potentially bad comments, because you can have them filtered out and for review. I mean, that may be one reason that we don't see a lot of the negative comments, is because we have that enabled on our channel.
Right.
But so, I mean, fine, if you're going to do it, the system's already in place.
Right.
I don't know why they need.
Here's the thing for me is, while, like I said at the beginning, I do think people should be civil. I do think that it's okay to be critical at times and stuff like that, but be reasonable and polite and don't be hateful. But the community does a pretty good job of reporting and flagging comments that are just truly vitriolic and not beneficial or meaningful in any way. And those get removed. So
you just described our show.
Yes. So I just feel like, the crowdsourcing thing works very well. Again, if you want to put a tone meter on there that shows how negative or positive it thinks your comment is, and then you can choose if you want to portray that potential sentiment and post it, then the community can remove it. And that's the way it works now, and I think it works very well. And I agree with what you're saying, Matt, is that the comments as a general rule aren't too bad anymore. They used to be absolutely atrocious, and it was a place filled with hate and awfulness. But
Twitter? Oh wait, no, that's
That
still
too.
the case. That's still the case.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
That's still true.
You can't fix that dumpster fire. Sorry.
But anyways, yeah.
No, this is actually I admire YouTube's constant attempt to try to fix this problem, because they are the biggest dog, except for maybe Twitter, in this fight of trying to make sure that their place is open to everybody yet not toxic. And so, I mean, it's a hard thing to do, and I don't know the right way to do it. And maybe this is a good thing, but maybe it's gonna fall flat on its face, like I think it's gonna. I'm okay with them giving it a shot. And also, I love the idea of having a channel either opt in or be able to opt out for this feature. That sounds great too. So,
well, I mean, the other thing is all they need to do is, rather than, I don't like this approach. That's the thing. If you want to filter out by keyword, we do that here in the Twitch chat. There are specific keywords that, if they are contained in the comment, it doesn't appear in the chat.
This is why we've never seen the word. This is why we've never seen the word rubber ducky in the chat. Right?
Exactly.
Okay. Thought so. Don't know why my rubber ducky
but
comments
I mean,
are being shown.
So I mean, this stuff's already available, and you let the channel owner decide what those words are that are the flags. And then, there may be terrible things out there that the algorithm is going to flag, but the channel owner actually wants it, actually invites it, and that's like their battle cry.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right. Well, we have a ton of news, so we need to move on. And this news story has been talked about basically by everybody else, but it did happen after our show last week, and it is gigantic news. Warner Brothers has taken their slate of films of the year 2021, has looked at what they perceive is going to be happening throughout the year as far as attendance in movie theaters, has made the decision unilaterally for all of their films that they are distributing that they are going to be day and date available in theaters, if available, and on HBO Max. That's
Good.
right. You will be able to take your film, your movie that you were interested in seeing in the theater during next year, if it was made by Warner Brothers or distributed by them, and you will be able to see it on HBO Max the day is there. It will be there for 30 days, and then it will be taken off of that platform. We will still possibly be in theaters after that case, but that means all the big movies coming out: Godzilla versus Kong, the Suicide Squad, Matrix 4, a lot of huge movies that are coming out, that are going to be coming out, that are going to be available for you to watch on HBO Max. And that is going to start, of course, with what we announced last week or week before, I don't remember, but Wonder Woman is also going to be the first one of this to be doing this with this is huge. This is game changing. We've already heard from filmmakers and different theater companies, all basically complaining, thinking this is the worst idea. And I have my point of view on this. I want to hear what you guys' point of view is on this first.
So right off the bat, I will say Christopher Nolan has been very vocal, basically calling HBO Max a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
The fact that he is so against this makes me believe that it's the right decision. Considering he's the one that kept dragging his stupid movie out and dragging it, and then wondering when it finally comes out, why isn't anybody watching it? Well, you pissed off everybody by, constantly pulling it and not letting people watch it, go to stream. Fine. No, I think this is the right move. Somebody needed to do it. Somebody needed to make that, needed to be the first one to say, this is the way it is now. And good on you, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, so there's a couple of thoughts that I have. First of all, I think this is a a savvy move by Warner Brothers. Not amazing, not brilliant, but a savvy move. I think this is a genius move by HBO. I've been pretty happy not having HBO except for the 1 month that it took me to watch all of Game of Thrones. And that's it. Like, that was going to be the extent of, I think it ended up taking a little over a month. So then I watched Westworld in the remainder of the second month, the first season, and I was done. Like, I haven't seen any other Westworlds, and I was fine with that. I felt like the season one ended in a way that I was happy with, and so I was done. I'm never going back to HBO. Now I'm definitely going to have HBO Max. And I am honestly thinking about going out and buying a better TV and maybe a better sound system that can support Dolby Vision or Dolby Atmos, just so that I can watch these movies at home in the comfort of my home. I was torn because I was seriously thinking about getting a theater. They offer it for like $150 to rent the theater for up to 20 people. And so it could be me and a few friends, and we could go see Wonder Woman opening day. But then, you know, when I weigh $150 with a few friends in a theater or in my own house, in my own recliner, in my own comfortable chairs with my own food and popcorn or whatever I want, it's hard to not go with the house thing. And, you know, I definitely want to see, I'll watch Suicide Squad. I don't know if I really want to see it. Hopefully I will, after having seen it, want to have seen it. And I'm definitely going to see Dune and Matrix 4. So there's 3 movies that I'm totally stoked about, and several others that I think will be interesting.
Plus, you still have the option to see it in the theater if you want to.
Yeah.
It's
if I watch it there and I'm like, I got to see this on a 300-inch movie theater, I can go.
Yeah. I mean, if there's that guy from work that really wants to see the same movie as you, but you really don't want him to know where you live, you go to the
theater. You have guys, you have people like that?
There's always people like that.
Well, that's okay. I don't want you to know where I live anyway. So
exactly.
Huh. No, yeah. So here's my point of view here. I think this is brilliant for the movie theaters. Now, the movie theaters are angry. Yeah. They're absolutely like, oh my goodness, you're going to kill us. Yeah. We're not going to survive. I actually think this is going to save the movie theaters, because I don't think they would have survived this year very well. I think we would have had a lot of people not wanting to go to theaters. I'm not going to go to the theater until I can get a vaccine. I'm sorry. But if there are enough people that want to go, and there is actually good movies to see, because that's the problem. All these theaters that were saying we're not getting any. Yeah. There was no good movies. I mean, name 2 good movies that came out this year, and Tenet isn't one of them. Yeah, there was nothing that really for anybody to go out and see unless you wanted to go see an old movie. And so that's why one of the reasons why they had almost no people there. Now we know they're going to have all these films this year, and all these films are probably at least, you know, pretty good grade, because we've been waiting for these films to come out. They've been sitting there on the shelf basically aching to come out. So they've been polished and they're ready to go. This is going to be an amazing movie year for the theaters, and not as far as numbers go, but as far as the movies that are going to come out. This is going to be something really epic.
You're talking movie industry,
yeah,
not necessarily theaters.
Yeah, so but theaters are going to be.
If the theaters go down, they want to take the movie industry with them.
That's not going to happen.
But this move ensures that, you know, people aren't necessarily going to go back to the theaters in droves.
No, it's going to take a little while. Wow.
Yeah.
The thing for me about theaters is I got a taste for the private movie party, and I loved it. You know, we did Empire Strikes Back at Cinemark, and we invited like 3 other families, and in the whole theater, we were like totally, you know, there was like 15-20 feet between us, because they would be on one end of an aisle and we'd be on the other end of the next aisle, and so on. And so we were very nicely spaced. And it was great. It was like only people I know in the theater. I get to watch one of my favorite movies of all time, The Empire Strikes Back, on a giant screen with amazing sound. And it was an experience that you can't have unless you're previously, it seemed like you couldn't have unless you were super rich, to be able to watch basically just your friends and family in a theater like that, renting the whole thing out. And now they're offering that all the time at like $100 to $150, depending on how popular the movie is.
They're desperate.
And you get old movies and new movies like this Christmas, like Cinemark is doing like Gremlins and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, all of the like Christmas movies, Die Hard, that I love to watch every year. And I'm like, I want to go see Die Hard in the theater. I've never seen it in the theaters. Why not? So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I mean, I don't know how well that works for the budget in the end, if $100 for a theater is enough, but I really enjoy it. I like it.
Yeah, I have no problem with this, and a reminder to newer listeners, I don't go to movies. The only reason I was going to movies ever was when I had Movie Pass, and then I was incentivized to go. Once Movie Pass closed down, I stopped going to movies again. So most of the theater chains out there I absolutely hate, and will not step foot in there unless I absolutely have to. So,
well, that's we'll see what happens.
Yep.
This is going to be fun to follow. All right, Amazon's got their Fire TV app, and on their Fire TVs they have a news app. On the news app, they are starting to stream local news channels, local news coverage from 12 different cities to start off with. These cities are pretty diverse around the country, but what they're looking to do is next year is to increase these cities to up to 90 next year. So they are working to make it so you are going to be able to get your local news through the Amazon Fire's free app on your Fire TV. Not bad.
They're doing their part to bring misery back to the household.
That's right.
So many people have been divorced from the news, and their lives have been getting slowly better. And Amazon says, no, we can't have that. We have to make sure that these people are reminded why life is terrible.
See, I kind of agree and disagree with what you're saying. The one thing I would say is I feel like local news is more news than national news. So in that respect, it's like, well, this is getting you something that might actually show something that's actually news and not propaganda and spin like you get from the national news networks. Now, not to say that there's not still a spin and some propaganda on local news, but I feel like it's probably less. I'm saying this from somebody that's watched maybe 15 minutes of local news in the last 5 years. So I could be totally wrong, but that's a hypothesis that I'm throwing out there. And if that's true, then maybe they're doing a little bit of a favor. I agree. Watching the news as a general rule does not make you happy. It makes you miserable.
But if you want access and choice, this is a good thing for you. Good news, everybody.
Hey, what's also good news? Google Podcasts is a pretty nice little app if you're available for your Android device. I don't know. Is it available for iOS? I don't know. But they've allowed you to do the search through the various podcasts through their catalog, which has been a pretty good catalog. I've been using it for a long time, and there have only been a couple shows that I was like, oh man, I can't find the show on the catalog. Now there is a way for you to add RSS feeds directly to the Google Podcast to get those custom RSS feeds into your podcast feed. Yay! This is like the one thing it was missing.
This is the whole reason that I couldn't use Google Podcasts. Was because I have custom RSS feeds from Patreon, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't, and same thing with Spotify. We'll never use Spotify for my podcast because you can't do put in custom RSS. So this is a big fix for Google Podcasts. I'll have to check it out now that I'm free from my old podcatcher.
Yeah, it's you open up podcasts, you go to the I believe the explore page, and then there's tabs on the top. One of them, was it explore or activity? It's activity, and then on the very right tab is called subscriptions, and in there you can there's a button that shows up that you can press. It allows you to add your custom RSS feed. So it's a little buried, but it's there.
Yeah,
which is cool.
All right.
Cool. Under subscriptions. So HBO Max creator, the guy who got this new HBO Max off the ground, Warner Media, they've decided that HBO Max was such a success. Let's do it again, twice. No, they're looking to create 2 more streaming services available for using their different properties. It looks like that they want to make one that is more of a 24-hour news one, but it's based on CNN's service, so a CNN streaming
CNN
service.
Max.
CNN Max now plus whatever.
Go.
And also
go
now. And the other one being one more free, more of a free one with ads supported, and this will it looks like it'll be taking up a lot of the various TBS and TNT content for that one. So hey, actually many of these different streaming companies have been doing that. Here's the premium package, here's the free one, here's the, they've actually been looking at this. So actually this kind of makes sense.
So here's my concern. As long as it doesn't offer a variation on the same content that HBO Max has. Because if you weren't aware, HBO is owned by AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
And AT&T has spent the last 2 years creating competing services that are super confusing. You don't know which one you need and which one gives you what. And then they're like, why is nobody using it? As long as they don't do that again here, because I think they finally got something right with HBO Max. And then, if they're just going to do like Newsmax or whatever, great. There needs to be something that delineates the two, or there needs to be some sort of delineation between the two. Easy way for people to tell the difference. Don't be like, oh, well, this one has these channels, but no HBO.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're in that same cycle all over again.
That's all right. Hey, guys, Google Stadia is a thing. And actually, what's kind of cool is that if you are somebody who lives in, let's see, Austria, Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, or Switzerland, you now have access to the service, which means you now have the ability to pay for and stream various online games through the Stadia service, or pay for a pro subscription and get access to all their pro games that are available for free. And this is just in time for people who really want to play some game that's kind of popular right now. It's apparently really good.
Super Bomberman R Online.
You know what? I have yet to play it, and I want to. Damn it!
You told me to play it, and I keep playing it, and you're never there.
I'm sorry. I've been busy this weekend. I'm sorry. I would, I had family things. Sorry, but yes. How do you like in Super Bomberman?
I don't know.
Okay.
we'll talk about that later. But no, I mean, more people get access to it. I will say, because even just as in the near past, back at CES, people were talking about, don't know how good it is, and the experiences hadn't been great. I've been using Stadia fairly regularly for the last couple weeks now, and I gotta say, I think they got it right. And I was very on the fence looking at this side-eyed, or very skeptically going, why? It works.
I was okay.
I was just going to say, what is your thought? Stadia or a high-end personal gaming PC?
It would probably depend on the title.
Okay. Have you played the new big hit?
We can
I guess
go
it's
to
not
the
even
next.
out yet, is it?
We can jump to. We'll
That
get to that.
let the next story, or which isn't a story, you can talk all about it.
So, speaking of that, it for those of you that aren't aware, or you were kind of thinking you might want to try out Stadia, but you know for a fact you want to play that Cyberpunk 2077 game. Well, you are in luck because if you purchased Cyberpunk 2077 through Stadia until the 17th of December, you will get a free Stadia Premium Pack, which includes the $69 controller. That's by itself at $69, and the Chromecast Ultra. So for $59 cost of the game. That being said, I purchased Cyberpunk 2077 specifically for this reason. And it launched today. It launched at 6 p.m. Central today. I was on at 6 p.m. I clicked start. I was expecting all of the normal problems and everybody getting on all at once and service being really bad, and it was great.
Wow.
I'm not as sensitive to, I don't have a 4K monitor. I'm not as sensitive to like the super ultra settings that some people want. So, your mileage may vary. I did notice a little bit of the quality shifting in the background here and there, but on launch day, I expected way worse. Considering Microsoft just launched the new flight simulator a couple months ago, we were able to pre-download that ahead of time. And the minute it went live, there was another like 100 gigs or 50 gigs or whatever of updates that you had to do. And then it still didn't work right for a couple days. So compared to that, this was, I think, a good experience because.
So, Clyde, what you're saying is you are like one of the very first people to play the game retail, because you started at the game before. Well, everybody else was installing the first day patch. You were playing.
The PC people were, yes. So,
yes.
I mean, the retail.
I guarantee you there's first day patches for all the other systems.
The official release is tomorrow, right? So.
Yes. They had
buying
a
it from the
special.
store,
They had a special release for PC and Stadia today.
Nice.
Well, it was it is technically tomorrow. It was midnight GMT.
Right.
Is when Stadia and PC went live. For all of the others, like your consoles, it was midnight. It's midnight tonight when it goes live. So yeah, if you're thinking about dipping your toe in the water of the Stadia, and you were gonna buy Cyberpunk 2077 anyway, you may as well. You get a free controller, a free Chromecast, and you get it for basically you get that for $10 less than the controller and get a free game.
Yep. Yeah, so my family has a moratorium on purchasing things for yourself until Christmas. So there's no way I can buy this. I don't actually know if I want to play.
Do you think they bought this for you?
Oh no.
Okay, then you should be able to buy it.
No, I know I should, but I'm probably not going to, because they could have bought me. I know there's a possibility they would buy me one of the new Google TVs with Android TV, or Android TVs with Google, or Chromecast TV, whatever the new box is. I know that's on the list of things that would get me, maybe a controller or things like that. It's all stuff that could get me. So me getting this would be kind of like not necessarily a good idea. Also, I've never been into the cyberpunk aesthetic. as far as a game goes. Just me, it's cool and all, but I've never put myself like, well, that's what I want to play. But that being said, I hear it's a really good game.
So, and that was the thing. I've heard people talking about this game. I had no interest in it. I never even looked into it until 2 days ago when I saw, oh, if I get it, I can get this package. So I got it because I was already considering buying the controller by itself. And that was $69.
It's a good deal.
So I said it's a good deal.
It's a good deal.
And for those that that may be somewhat new to this podcast, show, whatever, the things that I'm saying right now, this is huge because I have been one of the biggest detractors. I have had no interest in Stadia, and I'm seeing the light.
Me too. I mean, it's making more sense and more sense. And what the heck is going on here?
If it can impress me, imagine how good it is for someone that was actually looking forward to this service. The skies parted, the light shone down, and the angels sang. Yeah, so if you're a Google fanboy and you've been looking, hoping for the service to be great, I think it officially is.
Hey, more interesting Stadia news. Google Stadia now has the ability for you to do the live streaming directly to YouTube. You had the ability for a little while now for you to hook up to your personal streaming broadcasting software like an OBS or an XSplit, which is nice that they had that feature. Actually, I'm glad that feature's there in case that's what you want to do and maybe go to Twitch, which is fine. But now built right into the services for the ability for you to basically link your Stadia account to a YouTube account and just start streaming online right away. In fact, before the show, just for fun, I did that. And it worked instantaneously and it was easy. And damn.
So you had suggested I try that when I was doing when I was testing out the launch of Cyberpunk. And then I never actually really thought about this. So are they just streaming it from their server directly to YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking I was going to be pushing it back out and it was going to be competing for bandwidth, which is why I was against doing it. No, if they're doing it directly, then awesome.
Yeah, that is one of their biggest selling points when they first got it. They said, we'll be able to link you up directly to YouTube. So it's like instantaneous. And
so, I mean, this is essentially what you've been able to do with your consoles for a while, streaming directly. One of the biggest complaints that people have about that, though, is there's no ability to customize it. You can't do overlay. You can't show chat. You can't have a webcam, for Let's Play stuff. That's 90% of why people watch the Let's Plays.
Right. So I do know that they do have a way for you to show your chat. And I do know that they have a way for you it does pick up your microphone. So for that as well.
Well, I guess, okay.
But the webcam,
if you're live streaming to YouTube, the chat's going to be there because it's built into YouTube.
I know, but I believe they have a way of overlaying it over your gameplay in Stadia. So you'll be able to see it.
Okay.
So,
but I was talking the other way, but yeah, I mean, webcam and different overlays and
right. So. Totally. Which is why they give you that option to also stream it to your OBS, which is great too.
No, absolutely.
Good for them.
Good.
I think this is amazing. Also, can you imagine? I bet you that Stadia server is really close and with a really fast connection to that YouTube server. It's pretty good.
They probably live on the same server.
maybe on different floors of the building, but that's pretty close. I bet you. All right, Apple Music has made. I don't know how they did it. Maybe they just did it and Google said whatever, or maybe they had to do some type of special deal with Google because those two don't like each other. But anyways, Apple Music is now available on your smart speakers that are made by Google. The Nest speakers and the Google speakers are now able to play your Apple Music directly from your device.
So how soon before Google Music shows up on the Apple speaker?
Yeah, you mean the YouTube Music? Because Google Music is
Yeah,
coming.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, that is probably going to
Probably
take
a never.
3 years.
Okay.
My guess.
All right.
All I gotta say is that this is good. This is Apple Music is popular with especially with the iPhone users out there, and just like Android Wear watches work with iOS, now these things work with iOS. This just gives them more options to use it versus the other way around, which is the silo. You must be within the silo.
Oh, yeah.
Do not deviate from the silo. The silo is forever.
Well, and I mean that's the philosophy that has made Google the kind of giant that it is
Right.
we want everybody to be able to use it.
Right.
Fine, don't buy our products, but still you should be able to use,
The speaker of your friend who's you're in the
yeah,
room for.
exactly.
Right.
So this is good. Everything should be available everywhere. Interconnectivity, ubiquity. That's what we want.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
All right. So if you've been looking for an old movie to watch and like, man, I don't know, I want to try to find something good to watch. Hey, is that new James Bond movie? Oh no, it's not coming out. They pushed it out to 2021.
Hey, do you want to remember when James Bond movies used to be great, but you don't want to pay for it?
YouTube's got you covered. It's right. It's right now. The YouTube has got the first 19 James Bond movies. That's everything from Dr. No and
Thunderball and
Thunderball
Octopussy
and all those ones that you might remember. Apparently,
You to a Kill,
Live and Let Die.
Everything except for Skyfall and Spectre and Quantum of Solace. Those are the ones.
Like I said, if you want to watch movies when James Bond was fun,
all of those are for free, available on YouTube. And how long are they going to be there for? I do not know. Yeah, it says right here they do not know how long they'll last. But
so really everything except for the Daniel Craig movies, which means you've got all of the best and all of the worst. And you just don't have the newest.
That's true.
So it's good. I have actually been thinking a lot about going back and watching a lot of the old James Bond movies. With Sean Connery passing recently, it reminded me of all of those great movies. And really, some of the best Bonds are those older ones with Connery and
more.
And so it is something that I'm interested in doing, and I've been thinking about it. So I'm excited that there's a way for me to do it and watch it. I mean, I own all of the Daniel Craig era movies, so I can watch those anytime I want. But this gets me access to all those old ones without having to go out and buy like $100 20 movie collection that I will probably watch, every 15 or 20 years.
Sure.
So,
I used to watch the James Bond kid movies as a kid, and it's been a long time since I've seen them. So who knows? Maybe I might stay up all night watching a Bond movie. That's what I tend to do, is find something that I'm really not only half interested in watching and suddenly watching it until 2 a.m. Happens way too often. All right. Speaking of watching things too much, YouTube is now offering a new feature for you. If you'd like to do your video streams with super high quality, you can now set up your YouTube video to use the HDR capabilities of specific cameras that are supported. These are the abilities for you to do your high dynamic range, which means that you are going to be able to do all those fun things like make your skin extra purple like mine, and make it make sense in the room. Actually, it would probably make you look better. I should get an HDR camera.
Yay. Sure. Higher quality or better options are always good. HDR usually doesn't look great unless you have a really quality setup. So
yeah, I don't have one of the setups that would really make use of that. So awesome. Keep moving forward.
There's going to be some higher end channels that are going to really use it well, and there's going to be some mid-range channels that are going to use it, and it's going to look horrible. So it'll be fine. It's back to YouTube how it used to be. What are you talking about? Hey, Nielsen. You remember Nielsen?
Harry Nilsson, the lime and the coconut guy.
No.
Oh.
No, I don't think so. No, Nielsen, the guys who would like ask you, "What are you watching?" And you'd fill out these paper forms. Yes, that's how they used to do it. They've been keeping track of TV ratings for years. They've been making sure they know exactly what you people are watching, and that's useful information. Did you know that they're adapting it finally, so it'll review, it'll allow them to decide what you're watching on devices that aren't TVs, because it's not like people watch it on their phones or anything, right?
It's about freaking time.
Actually, no, it's not time yet, because apparently this system's not going to be available yet. It's going to take until the year 2024 for them to implement. Nielsen moves slower than, I don't know.
I don't get. So back in 2009, my TiVo became a Nielsen box.
Yep.
They finally integrated into the TiVo so that basically all I had to do was just opt in. Do you want to send your watch status or history stuff to Nielsen? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it helps the shows that keep getting canceled because nobody's watching it. Well, lots of people are watching it. They just watching it on DVR. They're not Nielsen families. Right. Yeah, I don't know why this has taken so long and has been so, air quotes, hard.
I think there's a couple of things that are in play here, right? Nielsen, its history was absolutely essential to anybody in the movie TV industry.
Exactly.
Because it gave them the only way to truly understand the viewers. Once we transitioned to digital, that value went away. Everybody knows exactly what their own viewers are doing. So you no longer have to pay somebody to understand who and how much they're watching your channel and your content. Now it just becomes a market research tool for the opposition.
But that illustrates my point. Is why didn't Nielsen do this years ago? Because this is the move they needed to do to stay relevant.
Because it's harder, right? I mean, if you look at it the way that it was before, there was a very easy solution to the problem, and nobody was against it because everybody needed it. Now they're taking advantage, like they're trying to tell other people who's like HBO and Amazon, what's happening for the Netflix viewer. Netflix doesn't want to share that, so they're not giving any cooperation and they're not contributing. Whereas before, again, everybody wanted the information, everybody needed it, so everybody was cooperative. Netflix isn't cooperative at all, so Nielsen has to figure out a way to do it. I'm not saying it should take them this long, but this is why it's harder. Before everybody was giving it to them. Now they have to figure out a way to do it against other people's will, more or less.
All they needed to do, and this is something that I brought up many years ago, the solution was simple. If I watch a video on my phone knows what video I'm watching and on what platform, right? All they needed to do was create an app that you give it permission to watch what your phone is doing and then report back. And as long as people opt in, the problem would have been solved. But
there's lots of potential ways that it could be done. I mean,
I'm just saying they could have done something, as that's more kludgy, but they could have done something like that years ago without Netflix's permission, without having to get the permission of the content owners.
But then the question is, can you get a good broad mix of people across all spectrums that are willing to let you spy on their phone all the time?
If you let them know that, hey, this could be the thing that keeps your favorite show from getting canceled. Whether that's not true, whether it's not true or not, you can still say this could be the thing.
No, also, I understand that. What I'm saying is, I'm not going to let them spy on my phone in order to find that out.
Okay, well, first of all, if you are a Nielsen person, family, or whatever they are, you're already opting into them spying in on everything you're doing on your TV already.
Yeah.
So you've already agreed to that point. And if you don't, then you need to opt out because...
But that's very different, right? Them spying on what you watch on TV is very different than them spying on everything you do on your phone.
Well, I'm just saying, like, yeah.
Because your phone does everything. It's your banking, your shopping. If you have
you can specify what apps have access to. I'm pretty sure that each server or each service has its own dedicated folder where it caches information. If you're granting just access to the Netflix cache and the Amazon cache or whatever,
the caches wouldn't do you any good because those would be encrypted.
Yeah. All right, but I'm saying there's something. This isn't my special. I'm just saying there's something in there that would be identifiable.
Remember when many years ago when Vizio got in trouble because they were literally only sending back the 1 pixel of the screen?
But they were doing that without people's permission.
Without people's permission, but there was enough information that they could tell what you were watching.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to give them the whole picture, obviously.
Yeah.
You could figure out another way of doing this. It is possible. And it's not easy, obviously. And I agree, Nielsen, if you ask me, just needs to go back to paper forms and they have an option on the bottom that says other and let them fill in what it that they've been watching there because for some reason they can't allow that. And I don't understand. Just
other was code for ignore.
Aww. All right. Well, you know what? You can't be ignored. Redbox. You've ever walked up to one of those red boxes and go, "Oh man, I wonder if that movie's
available." You mean those zombie machines?
Are they zombie machines where you are?
There was that one in the grocery store that I kept trying to get them to let me take home because I thought it was dead. It was just apparently unplugged for a couple of years. It's finally on again.
I walked into I think maybe it was a Walmart recently, and I saw somebody using the red box, and I was just like, "Wait, what? People still use those things?"
Oh yeah,
I didn't even know they still worked.
Oh yeah. Well, this actually has nothing to do with the physical boxes of DVD and Blu-ray rentals. This has to do with their online streaming service. Remember, Redbox does have a free ad-supported TV service that's online, which allows you to watch a lot of different shows that they were streaming on there. But they are now offering paid-for options for you to get video-on-demand rentals. So this is another company that's allowing you to go, oh, I want to go ahead and rent that. I mean, literally, it's kind of like Redbox. Rent that video that is available for you to watch, and it's just another place for you to do that. You add it to all the different online stores for online video rentaling.
Yeah. Cool. Another way for people to get free content if they're willing to sit through ads.
Well, no. These are ad free. You pay for like this. All
you're basically renting it, but instead of going to the box to get the
just
disc,
like going to your Amazon and say, "Oh, I want to watch this movie," and it says it's for $3.99 for you to rent. Redbox is doing the same thing. They're getting the same level of stuff.
Okay.
They're just another online.
They were just adding it to their ad-free service as an ad-supported free movies.
No, you can rent on demand.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
see,
that's better.
Well, it actually you know what? This is a good for them because everybody I know, whenever they say, "Hey, I wonder if this is available online," goes to canistreamit.com or whatever the current aggregator of finding all the different things to stream, and a percentage of those people who look for that will find that it's available on Redbox and will pick that one choice to watch it. So great. That means just by doing that, they will pick up a portion of the of all those people renting movies online.
Mhm.
But good on them. CBS All Access, which is soon to be called Paramount Plus. Right now they are still CBS All Access, and they are going to be they are available now on your Xfinity X1 set-top boxes. Xfinity set-top boxes have been slowly gaining all the different services available for you to stream on them, which basically means the Xfinity set-top boxes, which are either the gigantic things. Those are not little. Those are not small receivers for the cable service, or for the little ones that they have as well. Will be able to get these streaming services, including now CBS All Access.
The new name sounds like a camera that you would attach to your Parrot. The Parrot Mount Plus.
The Paramount Plus.
Hey, do you want to see where your parrot goes when it's not like sitting on your shoulder? Well, now you can find out with the Parrot Mount Plus.
I have the Paramount, but what does the Paramount Plus do?
Apparently, it's just a picture of a mountain.
It's got a nice background to it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
stars.
First of all, I have two things to say about this. First of all, well, at least it's not called CBS All Access without giving you all access.
Some access.
Still bitter about that.
I was
bitter.
really
bitter.
annoyed at the old CBS All Access just because it was so poorly and misrepresentingly named.
No.
That said, come on, people, why do you have to copy everybody else's naming schemes? Like somebody comes up with something with a plus by, and now we all need to do a plus.
Because if you do something radically different, like Max, everybody will ridicule you for months until your service finally comes out. And they go, oh, this isn't a bad idea after all.
I mean, people ridiculed the Max just because they had changed their name like 16 times in the last 3 weeks.
No, most people ridiculed it because they thought it would include Cinemax, and it doesn't. So,
oh well,
that was a big
okay.
deal.
That's a fair.
Well, that was my
too,
justification for why they went Max initially, and then I found out they didn't have Cinemax because that would have made perfect sense. That's why I was confused. Why is everybody so angry about Max? Remember we had a show title that was Cinebio, because HBO Max was a better alternative to Cinebio. I
agree.
Yeah. All Access started out with some access. Then they gave you more access, but they never really achieved all access. So it's been bait and switch, false advertising since the beginning. They need to change it. Paramount Plus, whatever. Yeah. Paramount Now, Paramount.
It's Paramount Plus is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
My question is Xfinity's box. When is it going to? When are we going to have? We're going to have like some in-depth story by a reporter sometime in the future, which is going to say these people watch all their stuff on their Xfinity X1 set-top box, and nothing they watch is gone through the cable service. Everything is through the online, the various apps that are built into it, and they're paying for it, and they don't even realize it. How is it? 6 months? Is it a year? Is it 2 years? How long until we see that story?
As Badweave reminds us of the tweet that called them cowards. They need to just call it UPN.
I actually like the name UPN. It was fine.
Well, it was a fine network.
Man, I watched Enterprise on that every day. So, All right. Next story we have is Xbox Cloud Gaming. It's is that what they're going to officially call it? I don't know. Xbox Cloud Gaming, X streaming.
I can't even tell you what their new console is called. So.
You know, I think the X streaming is a great name because it's extreme, right? And you're extreme gaming, you're extreming X. Oh, okay. Never mind.
I thought X streaming was when you set up a secret camera in your ex-wife's house.
Oh, no. That's the called. That's.
I was going to say that's not something that is generally
generally
frowned upon.
No. Wasn't that called
authorities.
PlayStation? I thought that was called PlayStation Plus, but no, never mind.
I think that's in the cheating husband's office.
All right, but no, their cloud service, their cloud streaming service is officially coming out to Xboxes, to iOS and PCs sometime this spring. It will be. They're announcing that they are going to be making it available for people to use sometime in the upcoming spring, which seems. You know, to me, it feels like that's a little late. They have it for the beta available for Android. They've been having it for a while, but I don't know. It just feels like, you know, all these other companies are getting, the Stadia in particular is just kind of going to just clean up for a while as they've got this kind of cornered for a little bit.
It was the thing that they missed. I think they're a little late to the picnic.
I mean, here's the thing. Microsoft has two competing issues that they have to deal with. They have a pretty big investment in the gaming market where Xbox goes head to head against PlayStation, and also now head to head against all of the other game streaming services. Additionally, they have a hand in the PC gaming market, which is now getting more and more competition with these streaming services and stuff. And they make money off of selling Windows boxes on Windows on machines that people buy. If people are not buying Windows computers, high-end Windows computers to play video games and stuff, that's one less Windows sale, one less PC gaming related sale. So the best thing for them is to get as much of a foothold in this market as they can in order to maintain their position that they have now. Otherwise, their position is going to slip because there's a whole new player in the video gaming console solution system, and that's streaming gaming services. So I think this makes a lot of sense. I think that while they are a little late to the game, there's no reason that they can't be successful.
That's true.
I think as time goes by, more and more people are going to shift to this solution, just like people move away from computer, like cable TV with physical DVRs. Why are you spending thousands of dollars every few years to keep your computer absolutely cutting edge? And then you find out probably in reasonably close time that you would have had a better gaming experience using Google servers for your Stadia streaming or Xbox Cloud. So I think that they're looking at the future and saying there's going to be a lot less people, especially the millennials, as they start buying their own stuff and having to replace their own computers, that are going to be buying the high-end gaming systems. So this is where the future is headed. They've got to get a foot in it as soon as they can. It may be a little late, but I don't think they're out of it, and they'd be foolish not to be in it.
Well, let me just say, in response to your thousands of dollars every couple years, 400 max every 4 to 5 years, I can still do all the cutting edge stuff
that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because you're talking about your PlayStation.
No, my PC.
Your PC. Yeah. So that's what you want to do personally. Cutting edge games are a totally different thing, right? You can't run it. And as you already said earlier, you're not worried about running things on ultra settings.
But I still can. When that new Microsoft Flight Sim came out, that was super, intense. I was running it on high settings, no problem. Never had a stutter. Never had, my heat. Yeah. I'm just saying, you don't have to spend thousands on your PC to keep it cutting edge. But
So
yeah,
I'll accept your statement for your personal experience. I will say for my personal experience, it is totally different. I was I get sorely disappointed when I put in a game and can't run it on ultra settings and high resolution. And that's literally been the experience for me anytime I've tried to run any blockbuster game within that's more than 2 years newer than my PC.
Yeah. When I was talking about that, I was referring to Stadia because I don't care about it being on ultra settings. Most things I can run. I usually run on high if it's installed on my PC. I was just saying I'm not sensitive to that. If it has to be lower, like over Stadia, if it doesn't have the same fidelity. So I would apply that to this as well. I don't know what the fidelity is going to be like, but Stadia is setting the bar pretty high. So at this point, so they better be great.
So yeah. I'd love to talk more about this after the show because I could probably talk for an hour on it. All right. Last story of the night is Amazon has released a new update for the Fire TV. Since I don't have a Fire TV, you're going to have to tell me if you like it or not. But this is a new interface. It's fully redesigned. It allows you to have access to a new look and of how the whole thing is set up. And more importantly to many people, it has added profiles to the Fire TV. Now, Amazon's streaming service has profiles. It's had it for a while. I know that because we have them at our house. But
not on the unit itself.
Not on the unit itself. So this is new to them. That's good. Yes. That's kind of a thing that you kind of need. So good. About freaking time.
I will say, looking at this interface that they're showing on the screen, if that's the new interface, they're starting to let the Google TV that this is built on top of leak through because that looks like Google TV. Just with a lot of Amazon stuff being thrust in your face at the bottom. But rock on. The ability to have profiles on just the Amazon app in general was a huge deal because that meant that I could finally share my Amazon account with my family. There was no way I was letting my kids log into Amazon Prime on the TV with all the movie party related suggestions that Amazon gives me. Amazon thinks that I am some sort of deranged lunatic. While I'm not saying I'm not, just not the deranged lunatic that Amazon thinks I am. So now, I can have a profile for my mom and my daughter, and that's good. On the hardware itself is good too. I believe you can do user switching on Android TV. I know the abilities there. I've never tried it. Seems like a bunch of hoops to jump through that I don't need to jump through, but I'm sure there's someone out there that is saying, finally.
I'm glad they've got them. I don't know how much impact it ultimately holds on me because all of the apps we use independently have profiles for the different users. So like our Netflix app has profiles, YouTube has profiles, and so most of the ones we use, even like Hulu has profiles. So I don't know that it makes that much difference.
Here's a scenario for you, and this is the way I see it being utilized effectively. So if you've got a kid and you're restricting what they watch, even though there are profiles, what's stopping them from just clicking on the adult profile? Theoretically, if they have their own Fire TV profile, you can limit what apps are actually available.
Yeah.
So, there may not be anything suitable for them on a specific application that they would have access to otherwise, and you can
Very
say
true.
No, don't include this.
That's
that's a very specific use case, but that's the first thing that pops into my mind.
No, that's actually a really great use case. And when you mentioned that, it also occurred to me that I'm forgetting the fact that there's actually Amazon content too, because I
Yes.
use the Prime content so little that it kind of becomes like an afterthought. I guess we do watch.
Let your kids see my Amazon Prime dashboard, and you will say, set up an account or set up a profile now.
Yeah, that's a good
PMS
point.
Cop, anyone? That's one of the things that it's really trying to convince me to watch right now. All right. Well,
okay.
that brings us to the point in the show where we like to say thank you to the people that matter the most to us. Well,
Our
all of you
family.
matter, but
Oh,
the patrons, they matter the most.
I guess so.
They have purchased our love,
Oh,
essentially.
hey, not
I-
afraid to sell it.
I'm not ashamed to say it. They dangled some money in our face, and we said, absolutely, we'll take it. What do you want us to do? There are lines, but we haven't found anything lines we won't cross yet.
There are lines somewhere, we just haven't found them yet.
Yes. But yeah, so all of you that have been supporting us on Patreon, you are awesome. You have purchased a special place in our heart. Even if the only reason was for that to get your hands on that custom RSS feed, that's fine. We don't care why. We don't ask about your motivations. It's the don't ask, don't tell policy, right? We don't care why you're a supporter. We're just glad that you are.
Oh,
For anyone else out there that would like to support the show, that's patreon.com/thebod squad, and you too will purchase a little birdhouse in our souls.
aw.
All right. Moving on, we should rant and rave about some stuff. Okay, rants, raves, what you got?
That's not the only bee in my bonnet. Okay. I gotta say is that I spent the weekend doing a bunch of family stuff.
I'm sorry.
Which that's fine. I like spending time with my family. I actually do.
He's a weirdo.
Well, it was finishing Christmas lights outside. That ended up being there was a good portion of the day, which was we had to go and get some extra lights for outside. Apparently, there's a competition in the neighborhood. We're not going to win, but we put a good effort up. We're not that impressive, trust me. But that was a good portion of my weekend. But when everybody went to bed, and I was sitting there, and I was thinking to myself, man, I really enjoyed when I got to see My Hero Academia 2 Heroes. And it was really, I thought it was decent. It could have been better, but and I knew that there was another movie that was out, which was Heroes Rising. Yeah, so I finally said, okay, I'll just rent it. I have some credit, and I'll just go ahead and rent it and watch it. And I liked it, but at the same time, I felt like everything in that movie that happened was retconned right back to right before. And I realized that the first movie basically did the same thing, which kind of bothered me. It
takes place in between.
Right.
The season.
I understand, but it also basically, if you don't see the movie, it's fine. Nothing really changed for the next season. I get that's why they did it, but the first one apparently it was glazed over enough. I didn't care. The second one, I felt like, I feel like, man, they reached far into what they were planning on doing, and then they pulled it all right back, so it was right back to where you expected to be for the show. And I didn't like it that time, only because of that feeling of like, okay, this actually doesn't matter.
See, the problem is did you watch the next season already?
I watched the season after that. Yeah.
Okay. See, and that's the problem. If you had watched it in between,
no,
which is one reason why I haven't watched them, and I probably won't.
Okay.
Just because I'm already past it.
Yeah.
You know, and
feel free and skip it. You're not missing anything. That being said, they are good. And the first one was this is so ridiculous. I'm giggling because it's so ridiculous. It was actually lots of fun. Second one was like, this is so cool. I think this is really cool stuff that they're doing here. I like it a lot. But and then at the end they just kind of retconned it all back to like, oh, and we're back where we were. It's like, okay. That's all right. The other thing is, the night before, or whatever, I was of course on my computer trying to find something to keep myself entertained because I was not tired yet, and I came across an old documentary called the Bbs the Documentary. Now, when I was a
produced
kid,
by the BBS?
No, it was not produced by the
I
BBS.
was thinking BBC. Never mind.
No, it was not produced by the BBC. But no, it's a documentary about that time in the late 90s and the early aughts where the internet really, like the late 80s and early 90s, actually, was the right time. The internet really hadn't become a big thing yet, but before the internet, there were BBSs.
In the before times.
In the before times. And I've only watched a couple episodes of it, and it's not that good of a quality of a, but it hit me nostalgia because I actually for a good year ran a BBS out of my room as well, just because I wanted to see if I could do it. It wasn't very good, but it was something that I did for fun to see if I could, and I knew those people. We got together and spent some time talking about, that, and I learned about how one guy would call in the middle of the night so he could get all the messages from one of the message boards and bring them down so we could connect to it and read the messages on the message board. And it was expensive because he did it in the middle of the night because he could get the better minutes for the time. So it was good stuff. And I just I remember that. I remember playing those games, and so yeah.
So let me ask, did you watch *Halt and Catch Fire*?
I have not watched *Halt and Catch Fire*, and it's again one of those shows where like this could be something really great, but I don't want to watch it in case it gets canceled or something like that.
No,
I guess it's been done, right?
Yeah, it's been done for years, and they wrapped up the story.
Yeah. So it was okay, cool. Then I might get around to watching it. One of those
things where I'd say the first 2 seasons are great.
Mm-hmm.
There was a season. There was either 3 or 4 seasons, and one of them was kind of meandery, but I think that you might enjoy it.
I would totally enjoy it because I remember I know where *Halt and Catch Fire* comes from.
Mm-hmm.
That phrase.
Yes. And see, I'm far enough removed that the glaring errors I probably didn't notice.
Me too. I would. I don't know the history that well.
There are some people that were, just like, this is absolutely wrong, and
right.
And it's a pseudo history.
Right. It's not actually Compact. People, it's its other name.
You know, but I mean, it's set in a reality. It's close enough that it's not a documentary. It's a drama, but I think you'd enjoy it.
Okay, but it's one of those shows that I was like going, wait, this could be good. I don't know. Because when I get into a show, I have to watch it all to enjoy it. So, otherwise, that's why I couldn't not watch those 2 movies from My Hero Academia. I had to watch them. All right, that's it for me.
Mike,
all right. Haven't had a lot of TV viewing time recently, but my daughter put on Rogue One the other day, and I started watching it a few minutes in, and it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. If you're into Star Wars, and for some reason haven't seen it or have seen it, go back and watch it again. It's really good. It's a lot better than I remembered. And I remember thinking it was a good movie, but it's been so long since I seen it that I had forgotten how good it was. Also watching The Mandalorian. We do watch that every Friday as it comes out, and very much enjoying it. It is still a very excellent show.
I've been hearing like, oh, it's good, but it's all this kind of controversial stuff. Oh no.
Yeah, there's all kinds of controversy coming from it, and which is all total garbage. There's no real controversy. It's just people want to hype about things that are happening on one of the most popular shows on TV, even though there's not really much to complain about. So yeah, it's very good. Still enjoying it quite a lot.
Hey, I have another rant real quick, but I got to get back to.
Okay.
Just real quick.
Still no? Any update?
Actually, yes. They shipped it out on Monday. It should be here by Friday. So, thank God.
Finally.
All right. Sorry. Done. Sorry.
Yep. All right. So, I have a question for you. What is more surprising than me buying a game on Stadia?
You really liking a very popular movie.
No, that happens.
Like
I
like
love
rolling a 1 on a 20-sided dice happens once in a while, right?
Okay. No, I bought two. I've now bought two games on Stadia.
What?
I ended up buying, and this comes back to where my comment earlier that I really wish they would let you try the game.
Well, they're giving you games for free too, though. You know,
I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying for the pro service, so I don't get them for free.
Well, no. There are actually a couple games that are absolutely free.
Oh,
like
yeah. There's the Bomberman, and I played Destiny.
We need to play.
Yes. No, the PGA 2K21 it came out in August. It's in hindsight, it's not one of the better golf games out there. But it's currently $10. I figured I can't try it. I'll drop $10, and it's okay. That's the game where it really shows off my love of character creation. Actually, I'll bring this up real quick. Oh crap!
Where did I go?
Where did everything go? It's the wrong key combination.
By the way, Bad Weave's guess was that you bought an Apple product, but that's never going to happen.
I almost bought an Apple. Oh, I did. I bought 2 Apple products back in April when I got phones for my kids because they wanted the iPhone 11. I made the mistake of getting them Samsungs the first time, and they were just really.
Those kind of kids. Gotcha. Ew, green bubbles. No.
They wanted them initially. They were like, okay, yeah, Android's fine, but I made the mistake of getting Samsung, and the Samsung the issues they complained about were Samsung issues
related. Okay,
that's what I was saysaying. If I had gotten probably
Bixby
any other, but I'll deal with the other thing later. But I now own 2 games on Stadia, and you know what that means? In about a week, I will never touch Stadia ever again. Because that's just the way it works for me. Once I finally get the thing, then it's like, I'm done.
I'm happy you got to play a golf game. That's great.
I that's one genre I play a lot of.
Really? You like the golf games, huh?
I typically do.
I played the DOS golf game.
That's probably the last golf game I played too.
But I can't remember the name of that old DOS golf game, but I played the heck out of that one.
Yeah.
Actually, there was 2 of them. There was another one that actually had like a voice. It actually had like it was Jack Nicklaus's voice in it or something somehow.
Well, there was Jack Nicklaus Golf.
Right.
I think that is what you're referring to.
It actually used the PC speaker to generate his voice. It did a really amazing job for that stupid speaker.
Well, for its date and time, yes.
Right.
I think
No.
you would not recognize that, not consider it so now, but
No.
yeah.
I will
it
say
was.
the best golf game ever was Outlaw Golf. That was the one where you, as you got frustrated for hitting bad shots, you would start playing worse and worse, which is real life. But in order to get your frustration meter back down, you could beat up your caddy. That one was great. I play a lot of the Hot Shot Golf. I think I played all of the Hot Shot Golf franchises because it's more arcade, and I like that. But
There's a very arcade golf game called What the Golf.
I don't know that one.
It's
but,
barely a golf game, but it's hilarious.
okay. But yeah, and
Very cool.
cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us today. If you're listening to this after the fact, we do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. You should come join us sometime. But otherwise, if you want to get this, if you're watching live and you'd rather listen to us in your car during your commute, whatever, the podcast is available where all podcasts are available. If you find some place where it's not, let me know, and we'll make sure it is. Everybody, there are titles to be voted on. We will do that in the post show. So head on over to tvs.showbot.tv. Vote for everything that you think should be voted for. And we will get to that here. Also, this Saturday is Movie Party.
Ooh,
December Movie Party.
Christmas stuff?
It is. 'Tis the season for a movie party. We will be watching Sleigh Bells and Anna and the Apocalypse. And also, if I need everybody to go out to Twitter, you will see a recent comment from Sleigh Bells at Sleigh Bells. They were invited to join us, and they said they needed to include the director and a bunch of other people into a comment. Everybody needs to respond to that comment and say join us. So we have the potential of getting some people involved in the Sleigh Bells movie to join us on Saturday. We just need to bombard them. So if you're hearing my voice, go to @DC Movie Party. You will see the tweet and respond with join us. All right. I think that is it. So everybody else, you can join us next week, and or you can join us in the post show.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you later. Bye.
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 Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.